Hey everyone, welcome to the Wrestling Experience.
Where we heard that Edge is on his way here to scout out potential competition for WrestleMania this year.
I mean, he made a stop on Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and it seems that he's going to be coming to the Wrestling Experience.
The best for last, as they say.
Well, Edge, if you want to know your competition, I'm Jess,
And I'm Johnny.
and
And
no,
we're
we're just kidding. We're just jobbers, if you really want to know. But we are here. We are here to recap SmackDown because we are really good at recapping, and I do think that we're a really great wrestling podcast. So
we are definitely not jobbers in recapping.
exactly. So
Like remember that time? Remember the time I recapped the entire Women's Rumble when you only asked me for a couple of favorite moments? Like
it didn't
they
let
carried
me,
away with my passion of recapping.
and he didn't even let me talk. It was beautiful. I wish the podcast can just be you.
No, nobody wishes that.
No, I'm just
It's the
kidding.
healthy dose, the mixture that keeps us going.
Absolutely. Thank you for keeping me in this. So we're gonna open the show with Roman Reigns, and Jey Uso is also with them. So nice to see Jey
Yeah.
Uso. He's very fidgety, more than usual, but he's really intense, and
He must have had like a really traumatic experience with Lil Nate after he threatened him.
I
That's the only explanation for his absence, right?
exactly. So Roman talks about. Listen, he's not a fan of recapping, but in case you missed Royal Rumble,
So he's not a fan of us.
exactly. He beat Kevin Owens, and he's a man of his word. So enough of the past. Let's talk about the future, because apparently, the future is Edge, right, Paul? And he talks about, actually the last time I checked, I was the real main eventer here, right? And Edge, I guess it's more of a technicality because he won the Royal Rumble. He gets to main event WrestleMania, and Roman is kind of insulted by the fact that Edge would even go and waste his time going to Raw and then go, on Wednesday nights to NXT to, talk to Finn Balor. He's like, you should
Yeah.
be talking to me.
Don't tell him that Edge is on his way here after SmackDown. He's not going to
Exactly.
be happy.
Exactly. And he's like, you should be begging. You should be, you should want to be part of the island of relevancy. I thought that this was a really, really solid promo. Again, it's basically, Roman is like, Paul, it's kind of weird. Like, why am I here first? Why isn't Edge here? And Paul Heyman, like, really funny. He's like, all right, guy, like, pyro, come on, Edge's music, let's go, let's go. And the guy's like, well, Edge is not here. And yeah, like, Roman basically demands Edge to, stop playing games. And he insists that by the end of the night, he wants to hear Edge's decision.
Yeah, and he also says that the last person that played games with him was Kevin Owens, and he's out of here. He's gone. You'll never see him again.
Or will we?
Will we?
All right, so so our first match of the night, we have King Corbin versus Dominic Mysterio. I guess the little said about this, the better. I don't understand this whole King Corbin Mysterio feud going on. To start the match before though, Dominic and Ray are making their entrance. They're kind of high-fiving and doing whatever, playing up to the virtual crowd, and out comes Baron Corbin, and he attacks Dominic Mysterio, and then he throws Rey Mysterio from the stage onto, like, I guess the side of, like, the backstage or something like that, and he kind of hit Mysterio pretty bad. But it was a typical Baron Corbin match, right? It's slowing the pace of the match when Dominic tried to, kind of get a few punches in. Corbin would again shut him out. The first 619 that Dominic tried to hit, it was reversed by a beautiful looking deep six.
Classic 619 into deep six sequence.
Yeah, and then Rey Mysterio kind of plays a part in this because he crawls under the ring. He goes to the other side as Baron Corbin and Dominic Mysterio are, I guess where the announce table is. And when they try to come back inside, Dominic makes it, and then Rey Mysterio from under the ring, he holds on to Baron Corbin. Obviously, Baron is distracted.
Can't make it in.
Yeah, Dominic hits him with a 619 splash. Dominic wins, so this is 50-50 booking. King Corbin won the first match. Dominic wins this one. There's probably going to be a blow off. Who knows? But I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, ever since the Knights of the Lone Wolf mysteriously disappeared, and now we know that one of them got released, and Buddy Murphy mysteriously disappeared and is no longer a member of the Mysterios. It's kind of like who we're left with the part nobody cares about, I guess.
Pretty much.
And I mean, it was a nice showing for Dominic. I feel like Baron Corbin's a good opponent for him to like practice and
Yeah,
like
safe.
get better.
Yeah.
And so it's great to see him. Dominic is still very impressive for someone who has not been doing this for a long time. And it was nice to see him get a win, even though it was with some cheap tactics from his dad. I guess this was his plan all along, right? Mysterio had a plan for Corbin. So this is probably going to continue, right?
The Mysterio family is not afraid to heal it up sometimes.
They do what they need to do.
Shades of Eddie Guerrero. I mean, shades of his real father, Eddie Guerrero, right?
That's true. I'm your pappy. So what do we got now? We got progressive match flow reminding us of that IC title match a while back that Sami Zayn interrupted. And now we have a backstage interview with Kayla and Big E, and she basically asks how he's preparing for his match with the lower odds because it's a triple threat match. So he has if you do some math here, he's got a less of a chance of winning here. And he kind of rambles on and on, basically saying he didn't sign up he didn't sign up to be IC champ. He didn't go for the IC title to back down from fights. So he's always prepared and he's always ready for a fight. So Big E defends his title tonight, but we have a match with Daniel Bryan and Cesaro.
Now, here's the thing, though. Okay, so this was a good match. It's just a travesty, weird, but it's a travesty that they only got 4 minutes. Number one.
And because this could have been so much better, right? And I feel like Cesaro had zero offense until he did his comeback and won. And it was kind of like and I like the kind of like the contrast of it felt like Daniel Bryan was wrestling as a heel and Cesaro was wrestling as a babyface here.
Yeah, and I don't know how Daniel Bryan clipped Cesaro, but Cesaro started bleeding from the back of his head, and I thought that actually added to the intensity of the match, right? Again, because the match was fast paced. Cesaro did get some offense, like we did see up his European uppercuts. We even see a shot of Shinsuke Nakamura watching from the back at an angle because they love doing that. But yeah, like I thought that was a really, really great match. And to my surprise, Cesaro picks up the win. He basically does the King of Swing. I believe that's the move they call, basically where he just kind of swings. The Cesaro swing. Yeah, exactly. And then
Bryan taps relatively quickly. It was. I like the match. I mean, I felt like I said, Cesaro really didn't do anything in the early matches. He had a couple of uppercuts, but Daniel Bryan countered almost everything he did. His corkscrew attack, everything he did until Cesaro hit him with a big backbreaker into sharpshooter. But the real news here is that after the match, while Daniel Bryan's recovering and Cesaro celebrating, before leaving the ring, Cesaro goes to Daniel Bryan and offers his fist as a fist bump as a sign of respect. So similar to what Nakamura did a couple weeks back. So now we have the double face turn, maybe.
Maybe. Seems like it. We'll see how that goes. And we're going to move to Kayla Braxton, who is interviewing Bianca Belair. This was really wholesome. We see a video clip of Bianca Belair's parents celebrating her victory when they were watching it live. Her dad just jumps on the table and he's celebrating. I thought it was a really, really great moment, like a real reaction.
When he fell in the chair, when he fell backwards in the chair,
that was funny.
Pretty cool too.
Yeah, and basically, Kayla asks her, who's she gonna pick and everything, and Bianca talks about, since she won, the whole week has been a whirlwind, and everyone's been talking about you should face her, and Bianca's just gonna keep it real, she's gonna do it her way, and we're all gonna find out soon.
Yeah, she wouldn't have been here if she listened to what everybody else was saying, according to her. And she didn't mention Io Shirai. She gave props to Sasha Banks and Asuka, but she didn't mention Io Shirai there, so that was interesting. Mm-hmm. But now we have a match between Bayley and the newest heel, Ruby Riott, for ditching Billie Kay, eliminating her from the Royal Rumble.
She's a heel in our hearts.
And Billie Kay is on commentary and going over her resume with Corey Graves, which is a nice little touch. This is also like a pretty short match. Like Ruby has a bit of offense early on with some kicks and some strikes, but then Bayley takes over, works the shoulder most of the match. Ruby tries to stay alive. Bayley attempts a powerbomb by sliding out into the apron and powerbombing Ruby, who is like on the apron. It was unsuccessful, but toward the end of the match, Billie Kay comes out of commentary to cause a distraction. She's like talking with Liv Morgan. This distraction really doesn't do much. I think Ruby almost gets a pin, but it's not enough to get a 1-2-3. And then Bayley is able to plant Ruby and pick up the win there, and you can see Billie is arguing with Liv, and then while Bayley is running backstage, you can see, when Bayley is running backstage, you can see Billie approach her, and it looks like she wants to talk about her resume as well, but the camera cuts away quickly, and we move on to another segment. So, yeah. And
the next segment is actually Bianca Belair making her way to the ring. It's just virtual and whatever, but it was really nice to hear that loud ovation, the cheers. And
Edge too. Don't forget that we saw Edge
yeah,
before she came out. He was also walking backstage.
that is true. That is true.
But
And
yeah, Bianca's out.
Bianca Belair talks about how, again, like, ever since she won the Royal Rumble, her whole life has changed overnight. Everybody's been hitting her up, even numbers that she don't even recognize. She used the new number who this line. And again, she commends Asuka. She talks about Sasha Banks. She praises, both women and their ability to kick some ass. And as Bayley is basically about to say that she's going to put the EST to WrestleMania, she gets cut off by none other than Reginald. And it was weird because, Reginald kind of...
Good old Reginald. I'm starting to love this guy. He's so good.
Yeah, but like it's kind of weird because, he talks about, if she chooses Asuka, she'll have a chance. But if she chooses Sasha, then she has no chance. Like, what's going on? Like, what? Reginald and Sasha? Like, is there a thing going on? And Carmella comes up next, and Carmella looks like $1,000,000. And she basically talks about how she beat Sasha, and that she's able to beat Bianca as well. And it was funny though, because she kind of like shoot off Reginald as well as she was entering the ring. That was pretty funny. And we're missing one more person, and out comes Sasha Banks, and I think she's like dressed in leather or something like that. But like, I thought Sasha looked great as well. And she actually gives props to Bianca. She's like, you are the strongest and you are the fastest, but are you the best? Are you the, the BEST? And she doesn't think so because, Bianca can talk about her accolades and all that kind of stuff, but she doesn't have what Sasha has, and that's the SmackDown Women's Championship.
That's true. She also says she wants to put Carmella behind her. She's looking ahead, and she's putting Carmella in the rear view. And then Reginald gets involved again. He basically says that Bianca got lucky winning the Royal Rumble, but this doesn't last very long because Bianca's kind of fed up and starts beating him up. She whips him with her hair, and Reginald runs off. Carmella's kind of like just watching in the background, kind of like embarrassed a bit, like an embarrassed mother, and Sasha's just there and like, okay, there's potential fight brewing. Moving on, we have a quick segment where Roman is backstage in his comfy chair talking to Jay, and Paul Heyman shows up to say, I can confirm that Edge is here. So Edge is finally here. Wow. Paul, a little late. We found that out like a whole segment ago, but here we go. And Kayla is backstage with Sami Zayn, and she's going to ask about the match, but Sami just calls her a corporate shill, and he's like saying that was robbed for the IC title, and there has been so many injustices from him, and he's going to have some happy footage tonight for his documentary crew because he's going to win back the title, and they're going to capture all of it.
Yeah. So now we're going to move on to this tag team match that we have. We have Otis and Chad Gable versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler that have a new theme song. It was weird because it's like basically like Dolph Ziggler's theme song at the beginning, but slowed down, so it sounds weird. And then you had like Robert Roode's like piano in there. It was a hot mess. But hey,
it was a mashup, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's if you're into it, you're into it. But I thought that this match was really ordinary. I didn't think that Otis and Chad Gable had a chance, although we did see some impressive offense from Otis. Otis, again, he does get the caterpillar. We see Chad Gable just impressively German suplex. I believe it was Dolph Ziggler. But
it was it was Dolph Ziggler, I think.
Yeah, but
or with Roode.
Yeah, but who knows? But essentially,
suplex to Ziggler. It was suplex to Ziggler because that's when Roode hit the glorious DDT for the win. Actually, that was the end sequence.
But the thing is, like, so what I thought was weird at the end though is that at this point now Robert Roode is the legal man. Right? And then Ziggler enters the ring, and he starts attacking, I believe, Chad Gable, and the ref doesn't do anything. It's like, he's not even the legal man. You're not even counting. You're not even doing anything. Like, apparently the ref doesn't care about tag team rules anymore.
It was weird because it was like Otis had done his thing against Robert Roode, right? He hit the caterpillar. He was going to tag out Gable, and then while he was getting back on the apron, you see Ziggler attack him and then go after Gable. That's where Gable hits the German suplex. Yeah. And then Roode can capitalize with the glorious DDT and pick up the win. And it was very short, and a lot of the focus of the match was on Street Profits commentary.
I found that so annoying. It's like,
why we weren't even at the commentary table, right? It was just like picture in picture. They're just talking from somewhere.
But that's the thing. It's like if you are commentating the match, just go to commentary tables so we don't see your faces on picture to picture, because I find that really I don't know. I thought that was really annoying, and I found that really distracting too. At the same time, it was
It
just wasn't.
was. It took away from the match, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know how much you love Hulk Hogan, so I'm gonna let you take this next segment.
Yeah, so Hulk Hogan talks about a thing he did 33 years ago, which was wrestled Andre the Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Then he talks about his friend Edge because they used to be a tag team. If that's for a brief period of time, that was kind of cool. And so he says that Edge has won over the Hulkamaniacs, and all of them are behind him, and he's a good dude, and he's rooting for him at WrestleMania. Basically, that's kind of what we got, brother.
Wow. Okay. I'm glad you recapped that pretty quickly.
Well,
So
would you like me to go into more
no,
detail? I don't even remember what he said.
no,
I kind of zoned out.
I don't really care about Hulk Hogan. All right. So now we're gonna have our main event match, not main event segment, but we have the Intercontinental title match. We have Big E versus Sami Zayn versus Apollo Crews. I thought that this was an excellent match, hands down the best match of the
Yeah,
card.
this was fun. This was great.
Apollo Crews once again looks so impressive. It
Yeah.
it boggles my mind how good he is. I like one of my favorite sequence was, I believe, towards the middle of the match where the action is taken outside. Big E's on the ground, ringside, and then Apollo Crews just hits him with a picture perfect moonsault. Kudos to the WWE camera crew for even getting that shot. I thought that was really really incredible. But yeah,
Not even right before that, he had a dive from the ring to the outside on
yeah.
both Sami Zayn and Big E, and then he did the moonsault. So that was like a double trouble there, wombo combo, and it was really nice.
Yeah. Sami Zayn does get a haluva kick in there. But he only gets a 2 count. He's basically winded. He's frustrated. Cruz comes in. He strikes Sami Zayn. So again, I feel like all three men got a decent amount of offense in, but it was Big E that had the last laugh. He immediately hits the big ending on Apollo Crews, who was, I believe, entering the ring after he had attacked Sami Zayn.
It was a bit weird because it was like Sami Zayn had the match won, but then Cruz pulled him out, and so he was in the ring being pinned, but from the haluva kicks, Cruz pulls him out, and then he presses him into the timekeeper's table, and then just walks right back into the ring and walks straight into a big ending, which I felt was a little like, okay, that sucks, but other than that, the sequencing of the match and everything that they did, and everyone got their offense, and everyone looked amazing. It's so well done. I just hate that Apollo walked right back into the ring, right into a big ending. There was no like a little extra sequence they could have done where it actually looked like it wasn't like, here, pick me up, let's go.
Yeah. So before our main event segment, we do we're told we have a video package of Seth Rollins, and we're told that the Messiah is going to be returning next week. So again, looking forward to that. The Mysterio-less, I guess the Mysterio saga is over. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Seth Rollins next. Maybe.
And then he starts to feud with Rey Mysterio.
just come on, stop it now. So
Okay.
so I'm gonna hand this to you for the last segment. We have Edge coming in. Great promo from Edge.
Yeah, he talks about how he's been dreaming, and he's been dreaming about going through all of his rehab, the grind of coming back home to the WWE. He dreams of winning the Rumble, going to WrestleMania to win back a title he never lost because, of course, he retired with a title. And now it's which champion should he choose? His family is saying one thing, his friends say something else. Apparently a random guy on the street said something else, and he's a nice guy, according to Edge. I forget what his name was, John or something. At this point, Roman Reigns makes his entrance, a very long and grueling entrance. There was a nice camera cut to Jay's butt, which was kind of like definitely a mistake there. But Edge mentions like, oh, you had to bring backup because he's out alone, and Roman kind of says that he's not giving Paul his blessing to beat you up, which was kind of like a little joke, which I thought was interesting. But Edge kind of points out that he feels like he's already in Roman's head. He can see it, and that's why Jey Uso is out. And so Roman says, okay, Jey, you can go. Paul also leaves. Roman basically says that's your one pass. Edge disrespected him and his family, and Roman is going to give him that one pass, but he wants him to be acknowledged as the tribal chief. He wants Edge to acknowledge him as the main event, and he wants Edge to pick him as his challenge, as the champion he wants to face at WrestleMania. Before anything could really happen, though, Edge kind of slowly backs off, and you could see that Kevin Owens is lurking behind Roman Reigns, and he turns him around and hits him with a quick stunner and walks off, while Edge kind of seems to be amused by the whole thing, and then Edge slowly leaves the ring, and Roman is kind of left there with dealing with the effects of the stunner.
Yeah, so I thought that was a really fun way of ending the show. I just don't understand. I mean, like, okay, fine. Like, I mean, if they do like a last match, because we know that WrestleMania is still 2 months away, are they really gonna feed Kevin Owens to Roman Reigns once again? Kevin Owens losing for the fourth time. It's just I don't really know where they might be going with this for the next feud. Because if I look at, let's say, Bianca Belair, clearly she's gonna be feuding with Carmella next. That's kind of like the stopgap feud.
It seems to be like the gateway for her, but yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with.
It just, I mean, is it because they think that SmackDown doesn't have like any top baby faces? Because that's not true, right? You have Daniel Bryan, you have Shinsuke Nakamura, you have Cesaro,
Yeah, they
you
just
have any
made
of those
two of
people.
them.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
just made two baby faces right now,
So it's
like in the last 2 weeks.
Or I guess that they don't want to remove Kevin Owens from the storyline just yet. But anyways, I don't know how I feel about Kevin Owens facing Roman Reigns again and then losing again. I understand they have great chemistry, but at one point you can't just have Kevin Owens losing everything.
I know, but again, I was wrong when I said Kevin Owens would lose definitively at Royal Rumble. He kind of didn't again, so there is still an argument, a stake, and I feel like Kevin Owens completely like validated himself again by just showing up, stunning Roman, and walking out like without saying a word. He looked very good, very strong,
Yeah.
and so like I believe it, and like I just don't know where they would go from here. How do you top the Last Man Standing match? Like they already did the steel cage. Like, do they go as far as a Hell in a Cell? Is Roman defending the title in an Elimination Chamber at some point before WrestleMania? I don't even know.
I don't know. It's but that's why, again, the road to WrestleMania, it's always fun, and I'm definitely on board. So that was our recap for SmackDown. I thought that was a pretty decent show. To be honest with you, it's an easy 2 hours. They fly by. In terms of match quality, again, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan was great, although it was short. Same thing with Bailey and Ruby Riott. I thought that was the match was fine, but yet again it was short. But the main event was definitely a great, and it was really, really nice to see Edge and the promo that we got from Bianca Belair. I thought that was great too. So overall, I loved it. I thought it was a good show.
You loved it. I mean, I thought it was a solid episode. Some of the matches at the beginning were a bit like quick just to get them done. The only real match that was super awesome was the main event. But storyline wise, everything continued in a nice way, natural progression. So solid episode, a little weaker on the wrestling side, I would say.
Yeah, so now we have probably Bianca Belair versus Carmella, maybe Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, and it seems that the Street Profits and Rudolph, they're still not done. So we kind of have those maybe set for the next pay-per-view. Is there anything else that you think might be brewing on SmackDown? Again, like now we have Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm actually really, really curious what they're going to be doing with them.
Yeah, that's interesting because who are they going to feud? They're all baby faces now. Are they just going to form a trio, a unit? They'll be like super best friends and challenge Roman Reigns and his family. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. But hey, guys, that was our recap for SmackDown. Thank you so much for listening. And if you do enjoy our content, please make sure to like our video and subscribe. It's you can find all the information down there. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey, so what address did you give Edge? Like, where is he going to meet us at the headquarters?
The headquarters? We have a headquarters?
Yeah.